Hey, what's going on today? It's Taylor again, as always, with Coding for Tacos. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that I feel like on YouTube and Twitter, at least, have been kind of controversial in the web development, learning to code sphere, and that is the website Upwork. Is Upwork worth your time? Are you all just competing for pennies? And when I was learning to code, or first learning to code, I didn't know what to think of the website either. To be honest, for a long time, I never planned on touching Upwork. But today I'm going to talk about my first 6 months on the platform as a web developer and what I think of the website. So stay tuned.
Yummy.
Now you should know that this is the three times that I'm recording this video. But obviously I have a lot to say on the subject, so if you're interested in more content about Upwork, please let me know and I will gladly talk about Upwork some more. Now, before really diving into my experience, I feel like I need to quickly address a few of the criticisms that you hear about Upwork online. And the first criticism is that everyone is competing for the same jobs from all over the world. Someone who lives in a country where they can pay $100 or $200 a month in rent, they are bidding on the same projects as people from the US, from the UK, from countries where it's more expensive to live, right? And in my experience, I have not found that to be true. I think no matter what country you're from, you can charge a living wage on Upwork. I'm from the US, I'm from Michigan, and so far I've charged hourly rates and fixed price rates that make sense for someone from the US. And I've seen plenty of freelancers from the US charging very good, very livable rates for the US, right? So, and in fact, most of the jobs that I take on are US only. So they all come through the US only job feed, and you can only bid on those or submit proposals to those jobs if you're from the US. But don't worry if you're from another country. I've seen profiles from plenty of other countries where people have made very good money from the platform. I've seen people charging hundreds of dollars an hour. I've seen people who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars on the platform. And I'm talking about people who don't live in the US. So like I said, I think you can make money on the platform no matter where you're from. And I used to be an English teacher and teach English on lots of different platforms. And I can tell from the Upwork platform that they want it to be that way. They want their freelancers to feel like they're charging a rate that they can live on. And a lot of times when I submit a proposal, it will have a suggested hourly rate that is higher than what my current hourly rate is. So they want freelancers to be bidding high rates or to get paid what they're worth, right? If you're providing a lot of value to the client, you should be able to charge that way. And I have seen and found that there are a lot of clients willing to pay in this case, what the web developer is worth. As far as competition goes, yeah, there are a lot of people on the platform, and so there is some competition. But you just have to set yourself apart, and you just have to get that first and second review. And once you have a couple going, then from there it snowballs. Those are really the two main criticisms I see online, that it's very competitive and you can't charge a living wage. And like I said, in my experience, I have not found that to be true. Whew. Wow, that was a lot of talking just to say, yeah, I think Upwork is worth it, and I think you should give it a shot. In fact, all the problems that I have had on Upwork are due to the fact that I am a pretty new freelancer, and they really had nothing to do with the Upwork platform at all. To give you some background, I had been learning to code for about a year and a half, pretty hardcore, I think. I had been learning about 20 hours a week, and at that year and a half mark, I just could not find the motivation to work on another portfolio project. So I thought now is a good time to start looking or start picking up some freelance work if I can. Up to this point, I had really only seen negative comments about Upwork online, But someone I consider to be a mentor had done very well on Upwork and he recommended it. And at the time, I didn't know where else to find clients, so I thought, let's try it. Maybe I can find some small jobs. So I started watching the job postings and submitting some proposals here and there, and I finally got my first gig. And it was a very small job. It was a fixed price job for some WordPress edits. And I think I got the job for a couple reasons. First of all, I submitted a pretty reasonable price for the job. I thought the WordPress edits would take me 2 or 3 hours, and I set a price of $60. And the real reason I think I got it is the proposal. From this experience, I learned right away just how important proposals are on Upwork. Proposals are everything. If you can get a client to respond to your proposal, then you've probably got the job. 9 times out of 10, if you want it, you have the job once they respond. Proposals are more important than having a good portfolio, even a good Upwork profile. If they respond, then at that point you can ask them some questions about the project. If they ask, you can send them previous projects. You can jump on a call with them. But at that point, if you want it, you've got the job. The person must have liked my proposal, and so I got the job and I finished it. It took me, the WordPress edits took me a little bit longer than I originally expected, but overall it was a great experience, and it showed me that Upwork was worth it, at least from my point of view. But from this small project, I saw some things that I wanted to go back and learn, and I took a couple months to really learn a lot more about WordPress and get better at using WordPress. And at that point, completely separate from Upwork, but I got a contract job I had applied for with a WordPress agency, and over the next couple of months, they were giving me almost full-time work. So during that time, I did 2 or 3 small Upwork jobs on the side, and that was great, but most of my work was coming from this agency outside of Upwork. And as to be expected, one week, the work just stopped coming. They really didn't have any more work for me. And it made me realize that as a freelancer, having one client just wasn't enough, even a client that is an agency. So I decided to kind of turn my attention, my focus back to Upwork, and I started submitting a lot more proposals and just looking for more regular work. It took a little while to build up a client list, but now over the past month, 90%, almost all of my income has come from Upwork, and I really feel like Upwork, if I want it to be, that could be 100% of my work. Of course, I'm also looking for clients off the platform. I don't want to rely on one place, even a platform like Upwork. And on Upwork, I want to continue charging more and getting bigger projects and better clients. But I really feel like even now, I'm pretty content with the work I have. I have enough work each week. Every week I need to add a small project to do something here or there, but I pretty much have enough consistent work on Upwork to where it's my main source of income now. But I will admit that between that time when the agency didn't have a lot of work for me and when I had more of a client list built up, that was kind of a struggle, and Upwork is best if you can build it up slowly. If you have another job or another source of income, other clients, and you can build up your Upwork client list slowly. It's just not something that can happen overnight. Really, this should be called my first 8 months on Upwork and not my first 6 months, but I'm not really counting that first job because after the first job, I went off of the platform and took a couple months to learn. But ever since I got the job with the agency outside of Upwork and started to do some things on the side with Upwork as well, it's been about 6 months since then, and now, like I just said, basically all of my income is coming from Upwork, and I really think it's a platform where web developers can be paid what they're worth. Freelancers can build up a great client list, and it's certainly worth looking into and giving it a shot. If you want to get started on Upwork, you don't need a portfolio site. Just set up a profile that looks even just okay, submit quality proposals, communicate well with your clients and do good work, and you will do very well on the platform, I have no doubt. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I could talk about Upwork and freelancing forever. So if you're interested in this kind of content, please let me know. Let me know down below if you'd like more content on Upwork. You can just say thumbs up, or even just a yes or a no in the comments is enough. But thanks again. I'm Taylor. This is Coding for Tacos, and I hope to see you soon. Peace.